This one's going to make the economists mad. Did you know that debt and credit preceded money and that money preceded barter? The history of debt began in Sumer in 3500 BCE, over 5,000 years ago. Feudalism led to debts so extreme among small farmers that they would often sell their children into debt peonage to pay them off. This is when the emergence of slavery first appeared. 25% of all people enslaved at this time did so in order to pay off their debts. In order to prevent revolt, kings would periodically forgive all debts. This is called debt jubilee. Credit systems emerged as a means of account long before the invention of coinage in 600 BCE. David refers to these non-market community interactions as everyday communism. This way of life was maintained by mutual expectations and responsibilities. The early signs of the military coinage slave complex emerged during the Axial Age from 800 BCE to 600 BCE. Coins were used to quantify human economies and led to a radically different conception of debt and social relations. This was maintained by the creation and recreation of social bonds through gifts, marriages, and general sociability. This was enforced by mercenary armies who looted cities and enslaved community members, severing them from their social markets. This violent exploitation led to the rise of empires, enabled by the use of coinage to pay off soldiers. Tax obligations forced everyday citizens to accept this new monetary system, which, unsurprisingly, increased debt and slavery across the world. In response to this, religion and philosophy began to emerge, often including discussions of debt and ethics. The fall of the Roman and Indian empires led to the abandonment of hard currencies and the fracturing of power into many small kingdoms, with the exception of medieval Europe. This is when modern economists will tell you that we reverted to barter, but this is not the case. In the single surviving empire, China, things like promissory notes and paper money began to emerge. The same was occurring in the form of letters of credit and checks in the Islamic world. The discovery of the Americas led to the mass extraction of gold and silver through colonial exploitation. The bullion economy reemerges, as do large-scale armies. Importantly, the Italian mercantile city-states, who defied the Catholic ban on usury, had opened the floodgates to the current age of capitalist empires we know today. This adventurous militarism, or colonization, was backed by debt and exploitation of first the Americas and later West Africans. Capitalist monopolies were established through the disenfranchisement and destruction of local markets. After the gold standard ended in 1971, the US dollar became the world currency. The authority of the US dollar and the Federal Reserve can only be continued through the maintenance of military superpower. As long as client states are still willing to buy government bonds, the system continues. Debt jubilee now.